One was it never even became an open house. So it's a road rage episode that happened.
How does that
I was involved
open
in.
house? What?
I know nobody should buy this house. That pool has ASR. It was built during that time. That pool is a liability. And sellers are just trying to sell their houses to get away from those pools.
I'm sitting at the dining room table with my laptop doing some work on MLS, and something hits me in the head. And I look over to the kitchen, and the bird's flying through the kitchen. Welcome to the house next door.
With Barbara Gillio,
And Anthony Harris.
where real estate meets reality.
We just flipped everything.
We flipped it. I said I'm Anthony. He said he was Barbara. I said it's reality and then real estate. I mean, I don't know.
If you want us to butcher it up, we'll do it.
This could be an interesting episode, which segues into what we're talking about. Open house drama
Yes.
and caught on camera. We got some stories about that. So we're going to kind of look behind the curtain of
Open
real
houses
estate.
and all that fun stuff.
Okay. So this is another thing that I just did weird. I got our timer all messed up.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to start over, because we have to keep track of what we're doing. And I need to start a new stop reset. Okay. Here we go.
This
We're
is
back.
us. This is
This is us.
authentic, where our lives are a mess.
This is us unedited. Sorry.
So maybe we're the drama.
This is why open houses are drama, because we're coming in with water bottles and laptops and cookies and candles, and somebody's behind us going, let me in the house. I'm ready.
Yeah,
So,
they only show up the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes.
So-
I saw a video, and it was this girl laying on the floor, and she was using the doorstop, and she's like, open houses are boring, and she just kept hitting the doorstop.
did somebody walk in on her while she was doing that? No, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
She would like this episode. She would appreciate this episode.
Whoever it was. So what stories do you have?
I have some good ones. One was it never even became an open house. So it's a road rage episode that
How
happened
does
that I
road
was
rage an
involved
open
in.
house?
I know. So I was doing an open house for one of my very good friends. And at the time, she was my realtor mentor. And so I was the very beginning of my real estate career. So I was doing a lot of open houses and just to get in front of people, all that good stuff. And I was doing an open house. Actually, I wasn't doing it for her. I was doing it for another agent, but she helped me out when this road rage stuff happened. And so anyway, I was going to do this open house in North Austin, and I was driving my Durango. I had a Dodge Durango at the time. It was black. It was beautiful. I thought it was so cool. And I had my signs in, and I was driving, and so I'm coming from Cedar Park going to Northwest Austin. So not even really far. And I end up in this situation where it's an intersection, and the guy in front of me, he was in a turn lane and I was in the straight lane, and he ended up cutting me off and going straight instead of turning. And I slammed on my brakes and blew the horn at him.
Signs are in the back flying
Yeah,
forward.
the signs come flying forward. I blew my horn, probably a little too hard if I'm fair.
Probably aggressive.
I was probably a little aggressive because I was all pumped for my open house. And that was not the
Lost his
person
marbles.
to blow your horn at. No. So he then started to step on the gas, and then he slammed on his brakes. So I almost slammed into him again. And the signs again are like,
Up when you get
I
to
blew the
open house.
horn, and then he's blowing his horn, and then he sticks his finger out the window and he's flipping me off. And then I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to do that too. And so I did that too. And
Barbara,
then,
do you know that people have guns in Texas?
well, yeah,
now that you reflect
I do.
on it.
I do.
Okay.
Now that I reflect, there's a lot I reflect on. Was a very avoidable situation on both sides. And so here we are, if you can imagine, in the intersection, but going forward and putting our brakes on and blowing horns at each other. So it's like a start,
Every
stop,
5
start, stop,
seconds.
all through. And there's just people on the sidelines watching us go.
Get away from you.
They probably all had us on our cell phones, just like, look at these two jerks being jerks. And so we get in behind each other. We're like, because it's Austin. Where are we going? We went from one stoplight to the next stoplight. So we're right behind each other at the next stoplight. He's still blowing his horn. So then I'm blowing my horn. He gets out of the car.
Oh,
He gets out of the car. He's a big man. And he comes up to my window. He takes his fist. He's banging on the window of my car. And he called me a lot of names that were not polite to call. a nice older lady who's flipping you off and blowing her horn at you.
But he started
He
it.
started it.
Yes.
Thank you. He started it. And so obviously, what am I do? Oh, okay. Of course, I'm going to get out of the car so you can beat me up, sir.
Did
No,
you? Oh,
no, of
okay.
course not. I was terrified. So I had the door locked and I was trying to get out. I was blocked in by his car in front and a car behind. So I was trying to maneuver to get
Away
out
from him.
and to get away from him. He threw himself on the hood of my car and he started banging his hands and feet on the hood of my car. He basically had a toddler fit. Dented my car, and continued to scream obscenities at me and how he was going to rip my head off and murder me. And so finally, so I was like, got away, like he got off the hood of my car and I was able to get away from him. He jumps in his car and chases me and he's blowing his horn, chasing me. And mind you, it's not a high speed chase because one, I drive like a grandma, and two, we're
You're
in
in
heavy
Austin?
we're in heavy traffic. So it's like
For the people that don't know, Austin, sometimes you can go fast, but
right, it's like, oh, we're stopping again, and there's this psychotic man trying to kill me. And so he followed me for quite a ways, and I got on the phone with the police, and I was trying to say what was happening, and they were like, "Okay, well, and then I can't remember exactly this was years ago. I can't remember exactly what happened. But I ended up getting off the phone with them, and I was in tears at this point, just trying to drive home. I think he finally just decided to pull off, and he wasn't
give up.
he wasn't following me anymore. And so I started heading back home, and I called my friend, mentor, realtor at the time, and I was just sobbing, and I'm like, I can't call that other agent. He was at our brokerage. I can't do the open house. I'm so upset. I'm letting everybody down. This guy scared me. Like I went through it was terrifying to have somebody that angry at you and that violent, right? And how did he know I didn't have a gun?
Yeah.
Like I could
You probably
have.
wish you.
I thought about it, but I should not have a gun for so many reasons. Anyway, she later told me, so hilarious. Well, at the time, she's like, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to call the agent. You go home. You take care of yourself. Don't worry about it. And then she called me the next day and she said, Barbara, when you called me, I was so high. I had just smoked a joint and I was so high out of my mind when you called me. I didn't know if it was real or not. And I'm like, oh my, this is just realtor life, right? I'm on my way to the open house. I get road raged by this guy. And then my mentor's too high to kind of tell me what to do. I mean, that is real estate to a T. And so that I thought about not doing open houses after that. Just
And that didn't even happen at the open house.
I was so scared because I'd never seen anybody that angry with me ever.
Yeah.
And his rage scared me. So I didn't quite know what was, I don't know. That was an interesting story, right?
Yeah. Mine's nowhere close to that. Mine's kind of boring.
Well, no. I mean, I should have never blown my horn.
But he cut you off.
He did, and I
just wanted
hate
to show him who's.
that is a pet peeve of mine is cutsies. No cutsies in line. I hate it. It does kind of make me see black.
Oh, over on 35, when you go to 183
Yeah.
and it's all backed up and everybody tries to cut. And over on Mopac and 360.
Oh, yeah. I don't like the cutsies.
Yep.
I don't even like the cutsies at the Starbucks. I just don't like cutsies. It's triggering for me. But he did start it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, what's your story?
So I was at a broker's open house, and this was a couple months ago.
Oh, wow, recent.
Yeah, it's someone at our brokerage. The house is listed at, it's like 14 million. It's in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I wanted to go check it out. The agents were super friendly and just great. And there's about 4 or 5 of us. It was very small. I went towards the end, and there's a broker's open house, and the neighbor came in. So she's walking in, and she's
Did she think it was a public open house?
They did have some signs out for Spanish Oaks. It's you have to have permission to be inside. She's in her workout attire. Just
of course she is.
I guess nothing better to do.
Coming from Pilates. Checking out what's happening in the neighborhood.
Yeah. So we're standing in there, and she walks in, and she's like, "Is this house for sale?" And the agent's like, "Yes, ma'am, it is."
Was there a for sale sign out front?
No, it was private exclusive.
Private exclusive. Gotcha.
But everybody knew this house was for sale. Like,
Mhm.
there's new construction, there's an open house sign, like, they might have had 4 of them through,
Yeah, so it's not like
obviously it's, for sale.
it's not a yeah, it's very obvious.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And there's realtors there with food.
And booze, that's for sale.
So, we're so she's like, "Is this house for sale?" The realtor's like, "Yes, ma'am, it is." And she's like, "Well, how much is it?" And she's like, "It's 14,900,000 whatever." I don't
Right.
remember the price, but it was a lot. And she's like, "Okay." And she's just walking around and just doing her own thing. And then she comes back in. She's like, "Does a Mexican own this house?" And, like, as realtors, it doesn't matter, first of all, who owns the house. And we were just astonished at what just came out of this woman's, like, she was a middle-aged woman that would
Well,
ever be appropriate.
oh,
Realtors that were doing the open house, they were very professional. They went back to the house. They're like, it's 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and just went off topic from that and just steered the conversation. But like it just blew my mind. Someone would come into an open house and be that ugly in such a high
yeah.
exclusive area. That's probably the craziest open house, and it wasn't even my open house. I was just attending it. And it
Mm.
was a broker's open house. It wasn't even a public one.
Well, and I guess, I mean,
But there's signs.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
She
but
wasn't in the wrong.
I had a really nice open house and had a pool, really gorgeous pool, and I had equally like, it was a neighbor. It was a neighbor in the neighborhood come in, kind of the same thing, like, I could tell she was a little weird, not off, but
I was gonna say off.
yeah, just kinda like a neighbor that was in there for
The
the wrong
know-it-all.
reasons.
Mhm.
She had that same tone of, "Well, how much is this listed for?" Just a judgy tone.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then when she saw the pool, she said, "Oh, when was that pool built?" And I said, "Well, it was built in 2022." And this is a packed open house, mind you, and it's a public open house.
Uh-huh.
So we have potential buyers in the house. And she says super loud, "Oh, nobody should buy this house. That pool has ASR. It was built during that time. That pool is a liability. And sellers are just trying to sell their houses to get away from those pools. And then the buyers buy them and they crumble. No one should buy this."
Do you react?
I was in shock.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, pools that are built during that time are a concern for ASR. That's why we had this one professionally inspected by an ASR specialist." And I said it really loud so everyone could hear
You're
me.
like, this pool does not
And
have
it
ASR.
passed that inspection. And we also have a transfer of warranty. Not all pools are susceptible to that. That's why the seller did their due diligence here. And buyers should do their due diligence as well. I kid you not, there was a couple that turned around and walked out. And then she said something else. I can't remember, but she wasn't done. She was just like
That's just starting up.
circling the kitchen and just saying negative comments. She said one more thing and it escaped me now, but I cut her real short politely. But I said, "Well, that's a good thing." I think she said something about it being overpriced. "Oh, it's overpriced. And I just don't like these kind of windows these builders are doing." It's like a wall of windows.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a light, bright, and airy house?
Yeah.
That's not a general negative I get. And most people aren't like, "I'm looking for that dark dungeon with no windows."
And the burgundy drapes.
Right. I don't usually hear people go, "Oh, there's just too much light and windows and the view it's just too gorgeous. Can't take this out." That's essentially what she was saying. And so I said, "Well, that's the great thing about homes. This home isn't for you, but there's a one out there for you. I hope you have a really nice day."
Yeah,
And I
get
just
out.
sort of escorted her out. It seems like there's always one that comes to an open house who's just there to,
Observe.
observe and throw some negative comments out there and
The drama starter.
the drama
Of the
starter.
drama at the open house.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, speaking of which, that open house we did together,
Oh, yeah.
remember, for my client. And I love my client. She's amazing. She's also my good friend. But she has got a very particular house. Her house
It's spotless.
is spotless.
Everything has a place. It's
Yeah.
well decorated. It's a model home.
It's a model home because she's a designer. Just
It
has
shows really well.
it shows well. And I could not host the open house for that particular weekend. And so I had another agent come in and host it. And of course, my client, being as meticulous as she is, and also having kids, she has cameras in the house, which one would assume nowadays if you're in a house, you're
Always
on
assume there's
camera.
cameras. Yeah.
You're on camera.
I tell my clients, don't talk about price.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that's going to hurt us.
Right. I mean, even if you can't see the cameras, it's 2025. You're on camera somewhere. And so this agent, she's hosted for me before. It had been, no issues. And my client calls me, it's like an hour maybe into the open house. And she's like, Barbara, who is hosting this open house? And I'm like, oh, so and so, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what she just said? And I'm like, oh, God, of all the houses, of all the clients, not this client, not her. And so evidently this agent who's hosting told somebody who came in that my clients were open to all offers. They needed to sell. They were desperate to sell.
Which was not the case.
Which is terribly not the case. Not even anywhere in the case. And she said, they've had no traction on the home. Nobody's even been in to
Which
look
was
at
a lie
it.
because you did have some showings.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And and there's things that we say to agents when we talk about open houses and things when th're going to host. How much activity we've had on a house, just to sort of set their expectation on this is a busy neighborhood, this is a busy house, you're going to get a lot of people through, or it's been a little bit slower. We just kind of tee them up. And so I was giving her feedback from the last open house, which is the one that you and I hosted. And it was during the Kentucky Derby. And I think
that was a fun one, and nobody came.
Nobody came to our Kentucky Derby open house.
But, we dressed up.
We
put out the sign.
We were so cute.
Yeah. That was a very memorable open house, too, with the dog running around the front yard.
Yeah, it's true. The dog got out of the house before we left. Kids were running, chasing the dog. We were like, what the heck? We were sweating. We were sweating before the open house even started.
That was a good open house, though.
It was. It was a great one.
And then we did our video.
We did. We did some video. It was a great open house and nobody came.
But we had fun.
But we had fun. And we advertised. I mean, we did everything. It was just one of those weekends. And so I was just letting her know before she held the open house. The last weekend wasn't that great. We didn't have anybody come through, but it was really nice weather. It was the Kentucky Derby, but we've had showings and everything's been really great. And that's just realtor to realtor talk. We're just filling a realtor, and it's an unknown that you don't turn around and say that to a potential buyer that comes in. House traction on a home, or traction means house traffic on a home. I always say, whether I know it or not, and I'm hosting another person's open house, it's been great, lots of interest, really great feedback. That's what you always say.
Well, we represent our clients to sell their house. We're not going to tell them that the last buyer said it was a piece of crap.
Yeah. Oh, it's just an overpiece, boring Betty house nobody wants, and nobody's called me. Like, no, we don't do that.
We're going to hype it up, and it's the best house for you. You need to make an offer today because we don't know if it's going to last.
Yeah, you don't. So she
Within
didn't
reason.
do that.
We don't lie, but
yeah. She didn't do that. She was like, oh yeah, it's been slow. The last open house nobody came to. They're desperate to sell because they're building a house. And my poor client is hearing this. And it turns out it's actually like a neighbor who's looking for one of their friends. So it's equally embarrassing for my client to have this person in her home that she takes so much pride of, and then hearing that nobody liked it from this person.
Well, and remember, that's the one that you had the buyer that complained that there was too many cabinets.
That is right. She did. She's like, that's like that light, bright, and airy thing. Who complains that this beautiful window and view? This buyer feedback from the agent was, she said there was too much cabinet space.
That said nobody ever.
Yeah, I just, I really want to just put stuff in the garage and not in the kitchen because I just like being choked out on space. Yeah. And then so this open house continued to get worse because not only did she say that, then somebody else came in and said, so how do you think this home is priced? Do you think it's priced well or not well? And she said, I don't know. I don't know anything about the neighborhood. I'm not the listing agent. And again, it's like that was an opportunity
to get a buyer,
to educate that particular buyer, and perhaps they were interested in the home and they weren't represented, and you could have had that. No, and instead you showed yourself of being incompetent, uninformed, and she lives in the neighborhood. So she really, I know I'm talking a little bit of shade here, but I'm not saying names. So.
But she still loves her.
No, I don't love the agent that did the open house. I have no love for that agent. I mean, I wish I could say that I do.
Sorry, guys.
He was trying to make it better, and then I just made it worse. But it's not that I hate her. She's just never doing another open house for me
Well,
again.
mine that was caught on camera. It wasn't an open house, but I had some clients that were the same thing.
Yeah,
Their house, they had 3 kids and their house looked spotless, everything. Like
can
their
do that.
pantry was all organized by product, color, everything. And they had a Ring doorbell or camera
Yeah.
out front. And so I told her, I was like, well, I have some, like, they did not have a green thumb whatsoever. They did
Okay.
not want to plant anything because everything they plant, they kill and
Right.
whatever. And I was like, well, I have some lucky fake flowers that every house
Oh,
I've placed them at has sold.
you do. You
Yeah.
did that at the other one that I did an open house for
Oh,
you at. I
yeah.
like it. It's cute.
So we have this big vase and go lug this big vase over to this house, put it on the front door, just give some color. Literally, the first buyer that walks up, she's like, look at these ugly fake flowers.
Oh, your client heard it.
My client, she's giving me play by play, as they're
Right.
showing the house.
I love it when my clients have cameras and they do that. They're probably not supposed
Which
to.
they're not supposed
They're
to.
not supposed
but
to.
we all know they do.
We have disclosures we sign about that.
But they still do it.
They still do it.
She's giving me play by play, and she's like, "They just talk crap about your fake flowers,
Your tacky flowers.
But they did not buy the house.
They
But
didn't.
No.
Well,
But
your lucky plastic flowers weren't so lucky
no.
that time, were they?
I think they went into retirement. The ones that were at that house, they're
Yeah.
new ones.
Yeah. Didn't you tell me you had a bird in an
Yes.
open house? Like, and you called me, and I think, no, you didn't call me. You left me an audio text, which, by the way, I love audio texts
Yes.
because I can
So
just
good.
randomly talk to you and other people and be like,
And you
okay,
have that
bye.
emotion with the tone. Because,
Right? Yeah.
it's totally different.
Yeah, I don't have to do emojis at all.
So let's tell them about
Yeah,
my.
because I was listening to it, I'm like, and my husband Craig, he's like, what are you listening to? I'm like, I don't know. And this has some house with some bird in it. I don't know what's going on.
So I was doing this open house for an agent at our brokerage, and let's back up. So me and birds don't get along.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've been attacked by birds, like in the HEB parking lot. They're pretty vicious multiple times. I've been crapped on by them. I've been attacked. I used to have a bird, and I loved it at that
Right.
point, but things have changed since then.
The relationship has soured.
Yeah. So the listing agent told me to keep the door cracked, the front door, because the doorbell didn't work. And which I thought was weird because people usually knock or
Can
just
they
walk
just
in.
knock? Yeah, there's
Yeah.
other ways.
And so, but I did as the listing agent wanted a little bit. Well, and I guess some wind kind of blew it and it went like a little bit more. I'm sitting at the dining room table with my laptop doing some work on MLS and something hits me in the head. And I look over to the kitchen and the bird's flying through the kitchen.
So the bird came in and hit you in the head?
Yes. And it was tiny. It was a very small bird.
Oh,
And so it was in Leander. And I told one of my friends that lives in Leander, I was like, hey, I'm doing an open house if you want to stop by. It wasn't close to her, but it was close
Yeah.
enough. And so I'm terrified of birds because had bad
well, you
experiences.
Yeah, you've got trauma behind your bird.
So
you
the
need
first
to
thing that
unpack.
goes through my mind is this bird is looking for sunlight. Turn off the lights. It's a 2-story.
Oh.
So turn off the lights and the whole living room is open space. That's what I was thinking is the bird's going to go upstairs and then good luck getting it. So I'm turning off all the lights, shutting every single door so that I can contain it to the living room, kitchen.
Okay.
I felt like I was pretty smart in this moment.
Yeah.
So the bird flies into the kitchen. It's sitting in the windowsill. The blinds are down. I have to figure out how, and I'm not touching a bird. Let's set that straight.
You're not touching a dirty bird.
No, I am afraid of them, even though it's only that big. So I close all the doors and turn off the lights, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how do I get this bird? So I start looking through their stuff. Do they have like a net or pillowcase or,
but bird in a pillowcase. Okay.
so it's something.
I'd
I'm not
pay money.
touching it.
I would pay money to see that.
They probably should have had cameras. I call the listing agent and I say, hey, I'm doing your open house and a bird came in. And she's like, oh, what? And I said, a bird came into the open house. And I was like, I don't know how to get it out. She was laughing on the phone. So she's like, go to the laundry room and see if they have like a Swiffer or something that
Yeah.
you can poke. And I tried to open up the window and take the screens off,
Oh.
but I couldn't figure out how to get the screen off. So that's a problem. So then someone walks in and I'm like, crap.
Somebody's in the house while you're doing this. Okay.
Chasing this bird and all the lights are off.
And all the lights are
It's
off.
my friend. And I
Oh,
was like,
thank goodness.
Dana, I need you. I need you. And I said, there's a bird. And she's like, what? And I was like, there's a bird in the kitchen. She's like, only you would have a bird in the kitchen. She opened up the blinds and she pulled it out with her hands.
See, you had to touch the dirty
Yeah,
bird.
I wasn't touching it.
She did.
And then we put it outside. And right as she shut the back door, a client walked in the front door. And she's like, "Oh, this is a beautiful house." And I'm over here turning on all the lights. And they walk out. And then I text the listing agent. I'm like, "Okay, good news. The bird is out." And I sent her a picture. I think I sent you a picture of it too.
Yeah, you did. And I was like in the middle of doing like a million things. And I don't know, what is going on with this bird situation? And you were terrified. I could tell you were terrified about the bird though. So
I hate birds. I absolutely hate them.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
no offense to the birds. I've been
you
like,
should
tortured.
chat GPT that and figure out if there's some sort of repressed thing you have.
No, the thing about it is that when I worked at HEB,
it was maybe working at HEB.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I had to push baskets, and they would
Oh.
attack me. So that's where the PTSD comes from.
Well, I mean, that's fair because it is a battleground out there in the HEB.
And I don't think I can
parking
get
lot.
over it. Well,
No.
and when I was a kid, a duck bit me.
Ducks are mean. Are you
A
sure it
goose.
wasn't a geese?
It was a goose, yeah.
I said a geese.
Goose is one, right?
Yeah, just one. Yeah, they're the worst. Well, I don't even know, wrapping up our stories, how effective open houses are right now. I mean, they were super effective for me prior to
Well,
COVID.
I can tell you that birds come.
Yeah, well, birds do come. It's come.
Neighbors
Ray
come.
chips.
Neighbors.
You have agents who just decide to take a truth bomb and, do whatever. I haven't noticed them being super effective since COVID. But I think it's hit and miss, right?
I think it depends on the area. The one that I've done in North Loop, I would always have 6 people. None of them bought it. I did so many open houses over there. Like, I probably had 100 people in and out.
Man, but prior to COVID, I swear I would sell the house at the open house every single time.
And see, I wasn't really in the Austin market. Bastrop never had a good open house scene. You know that Bastrop or Austin always has.
In Cedar Park, Liberty Hill was a little bit slower.
Yeah, but as a listing agent, it's the least I could do for opening weekend. When we
if
have
one person comes
those
in,
milestone moments of like a big price reduction, or we just went on the market, then I do them.
They're important, and I feel like they're less effective right now, but that could shift, that could change again.
And I think
that just might be my own personal opinion.
I think agent to agent, I think that it just checks off a box for a seller.
Yeah.
We, most exposure, if we put out signs, I feel like recently 1 to 2 people, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just a waste. But.
Yeah, unless you do neighborhood open house where you get all the agents together.
Open houses.
Yeah, brokers open.
And I figured out that broker or agents love food and alcohol. So if you have good food and good alcohol,
they will come and give you feedback.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Yes, so please like, subscribe, comment,
share,
follow,
whatever it might be.
Until next time.